Um, okay, so now let's continue to problem 2a. So in this problem, we're trying to find the derivative of this function. And because we have a composition of functions, right, so the 8x is sitting inside the inverse sine function. So for this problem, we need to use the chain rule. And because it also has the inverse sine function, we're going to need the formula for the inverse sine, for the derivative of inverse sine, which is this formula here. Okay, so so for the chain rule, we need to identify the inside function and the outside function, right? So the 8x is the inside, so it's inside the parentheses, and the inverse sine is the outside. So let's set up the chain rule, right? So the outside is the f. So I'm going to suppress the x for the outside function, right? So again, it's the sine inverse, and I'm going to suppress the x and just leave the open parentheses like that. And then the inside is g of x, and that is 8x. Right, so I separate the two parts, and okay, so now we need their derivatives, right? So what is f prime, right? So I'm suppressing the x here, right? So the derivative of inverse sine is exactly this formula here, but again, I'm going to suppress the x. So I got 1 over the square root of 1 minus, and then suppressing the x, I leave just the open parentheses like that. And then for g prime, so this is just a constant times x, so the derivative is just the coefficient, which is 8. Okay, so I have all the pieces, and so now the chain rule formula is f prime of g of x times g prime of x. Right, so the first thing is the g needs to go inside the parentheses for f prime. So this needs to go inside here. Right, so that's 1 over the square root of 1 minus, and then inside the parentheses I put the 8x, and then times g prime of x, which is just 8. Okay, so this is the derivative, and if I want to clean it up, multiplying by 8 puts it into the numerator, and square root 1 minus, and then I can square everything here. So 8 squared is 64, and then I get 8x squared. Okay, so that's the derivative.